4 steps to success. I want to send you away with this. 4 steps to success. Number 1, good ideas. Do your research on good ideas. Be a collector of good ideas. Keep a good record of good ideas. My mentor taught me to start keeping a journal when I was 25 years old. I've been doing it now all these years. They'll be passed on to my, children, my grandchildren. If you hear a good health idea, capture it. Here's what my mentor said. This is good advice. Don't trust your memory. It's easy to say, oh, I'll remember that. Sure enough, the time passes and somehow it's gone. So he said, jot it down. If you don't have your journal with you, just grab a piece of paper and jot it down. Later, put it in your journal so that it becomes, attractive to sit down on a cold winter evening and go back through your journal. The ideas that changed your life, the ideas that saved your marriage, the ideas that bailed you out of bankruptcy, the ideas that helped you become successful, the ideas that, made you millions. Just what a good review. Going back over the collection of good stuff that you've gathered over the years. Be a collector of good ideas. For your life, for your business, for your relationships, for your future. Next step to success, good plans. A good plan for the day, a good plan for the future, a good health plan, a good plan for your marriage. Building anything's like building a house. You need to have a plan. Here's a good time management idea. When should you start the day? As soon as you have it finished. It's like building a house, building a life. What if you just started laying bricks and somebody says, what are you building? And you said, I have no idea. See, they would come and take you away to a safe place. So you don't start the house until you finish it. Is it possible to finish the house before you start it? Yes, it would be foolish to start until you had it finished. Not a bad time management idea. Don't start the day till it's pretty well finished. At least the outline of the day. Leave some room to improvise, leave some room for extra strategy, but finish it before you start. Here's the next one that's a little more challenging. Don't start the week until you have it finished. Lay it out, structure it, then put it to work. The next one is a little tougher yet. Don't start the month until you have it finished. And the big one, it's not a bad idea toward the end of the year. Sit down with your family for the family structured things. Sit down in your business for the business things. Sit down with your financial advisor for your investments and map out the year. Properties to buy, properties to sell, places to go with your family. Lay out the year. I finally learned to do that. It was helpful with my family to show them where they appeared on my calendar. I used to have my business things on there. I used to have my lectures and my seminars and, all the stuff laid out on my calendar. And guess what the children say? Where are we on the game plan? Please show us our names on the game plan. So you've got to do it for your children, do it for your spouse, right? Do it for your friends, right? Laying out the year. Now that one's pretty tough, doing a whole year, but at least have an idea, at least a skeleton outline. Before you start the year, you'll be a lot more excited about proceeding. So number 1 is good ideas. Number 1 is good plans. Here's a big one that's really challenging, learning to handle the passing of time. It takes time to build a career. It takes time to make changes. Give your project time. Give your people time. If you're working with people, give them time to learn, grow, change, develop, produce. Here's the big one. Give yourself time. It takes time to master something new. It takes time to make altered changes and a refinement in philosophy as well as in activity. Give yourself time to learn, time to get it, time to start some momentum, time to finally achieve. It's easy to be impatient with yourself, right? I remember when I first tried to learn to tie my shoes, right? The shoestrings. Wow, it seemed like it was taking me forever. Finally, I got it. And it didn't take forever, but it seemed like for a while I'll never learn. I get it backwards. The bow goes up and down instead of across, right? How do you straighten that out? Finally, I got it. Mama taught me a little bit about playing the piano, right? Here's the left-hand scales. I got that. That's easy. Now she said, here's the right-hand scales. I got that. That's easy. Now she said, today we're going to play both hands at the same time. I said, well, how could you do that? One at a time was easy, but at the same time, finally looking at this hand, finally I got it. Finally, to where I could play the scales with both hands. Then I remember the day she said, now we're going to read the music and play both hands. I thought, well, you can't do all that. But sure enough, I'm looking at the music, looking at each hand, a little confused at first, but finally, I got into mastering. It took a little time, right? Read the music, play both hands. Then I remember the day she said, now we're going to watch the audience read the music, play both hands. I thought, well, now that's going too far. How could you possibly do that? But see, adding them one at a time and giving myself time to master one before we got to the next one, sure enough, I got to where I could watch the audience, read the music, and play both hands. So give yourself time. You can become a better pro. You can better master the art of parenting. You can better master the art of managing time, conserving resources, working together as a partner. Give yourself time. Here's the next one. Step to success, learning to solve problems. Business problems, family problems, personal problems, financial problems, emotional problems. I mean, the list is unending. Challenges for us all. Here's the best way to treat a problem. An opportunity to grow, change if you have to, modify if you must. Discard an old philosophy that wasn't working well for a new one. When I first met Mr. Shoaff, he said, show me your current economic plan that you're working on. And I said, I don't have any current economic plan except, keeping my head above water. I mean, that was my current economic plan. He said, well, without plans, it isn't going to change. So why not give up the old way of doing it with your fingers crossed, hoping for the best? Maybe the Democrats will get elected and everything will change for the better. Why don't you modify that old philosophy that hasn't gotten you where you want to go? And let's try some new strategy. Learning from the old, trying some new. And I did that. Solving that problem of amending my philosophy that hadn't gotten me where I wanted to go that first 6 years. Once I made those changes, I became a multimillionaire over the next 6, 7 years. The change was so startling, I couldn't believe it myself. But if you make the changes, right, things will start to change. Here was the best promise my mentor ever gave me. He said, Mr. Rohn, if you will change, everything will change for you. Wow, I took that to heart. And sure enough, the more I changed for the better, the more I changed from having a poor day to a good day, from lack of discipline to discipline. The more I changed, giving up old habits, acquiring new ones, the more my life changed, my income changed, everything changed. So solving problems, treat them as opportunities to amend errors in judgment.